the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
We have some massive trade rumors in regard to right guard Nate Davis. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. So, Bears fans, we have some massive rumors going around the Chicago Bears in regard to right guard Nate Davis and the potentially of him getting traded prior to the November 5th trade deadline in the National Football League. As we all know, the situation around Nate Davis is no secret. I think the confidence level that the Bears have with Nate Davis has reached an all-time low after the first 6 weeks of the season, where they actually benched Nate Davis in favor of veteran Matt Pryor in Week 3's matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. And then in Week 6, they made Bill Murray active and left Nate Davis inactive for their game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, all but signaling probably the end of Nate Davis' career here in Chicago. And obviously, Ryan Poles probably hoped for better results when he signed Nate Davis to a 3-year, $30 million contract in 2023. But as we all know, things just have not worked out for Nate Davis in Chicago. But here's the interesting part, Bears fans. Despite his struggles, there are actually rumors that a few teams still may be interested in acquiring Nate Davis from the Chicago Bears. And once again, offensive linemen rarely become available near the trade deadline. So there may be some teams, despite Nate Davis' struggle in Chicago, that may still see him as a quality depth piece for their teams. Actually, Bleacher Report's scouting department recently suggested the Colts should consider trading for Nate Davis, as I need actually a replacement for starting right guard Will Fries, who actually was placed on injury reserve after undergoing tibia surgery on October 7th. This is what they had to say about the situation. Elsewhere, Nate Davis was just benched in Chicago. The Bears might be willing to part with the veteran after he failed to live up to his contract. It's not the most ideal scenario for the Colts, but Davis is at least an experienced veteran with a decent baseline of production. So here's the thing, Bears fans. Even though Nate Davis did not work out in Chicago, and we all know that, he has been a massive disappointment, Nate Davis still has the potential to contribute to maybe a different NFL team. Obviously, Nate Davis needs a fresh start. The Chicago Bears need a fresh start. It just didn't work out in Chicago. Doesn't mean Nate Davis can't be traded elsewhere, maybe to like the Indianapolis Colts. He may be more successful there. Maybe a fresh start will be good for Nate Davis. When you look at Nate Davis' stats this season for the Chicago Bears and his limited playing time for the Chicago Bears offensive line, in 142 blocking snaps, Nate Davis has allowed just 1 sack and 6 total pressures and has committed 3 penalties this season. So despite this, he boasts actually an impressive 95.7 pass blocking efficiency, a PFF stat that measures pressures allowed per snap with more weight given to sacks. However, stats alone, we all know this, do not tell the full story on how much Nate Davis has struggled with the Chicago Bears this season. Because Bears fans, to be honest with you, when you actually watch the film of Nate Davis this season, he has been absolutely putrid, because the second that Nate Davis was actually benched by the Chicago Bears, the communication and overall performance has tremendously improved since Nate Davis has been benched. So Bears fans, this is a golden opportunity for Ryan Poles to right his wrongs and, say, hey, I made a mistake. It just didn't live up to the expectation. Nate Davis has been a total bust for this organization, and it's time to move on. You could save a little bit of cap space. Obviously, you could maybe get, a 5th or 6th round pick in return to add to your draft capital for next NFL draft. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world for the Chicago Bears to move on from right guard Nate Davis. I'm pretty sure the Colts probably won't give up a pick and a player. It's probably just going to be a day 2 or late day 3 pick in return for Nate Davis. So if the Colts want him, go ahead and give him Nate Davis. This makes all the sense in the world for the Chicago Bears. You add draft capital, you save cap space. To me, it's a win-win for both sides. I'm not sure if any other teams are actually interested in right guard Nate Davis. All we know right now is that it seems like the Colts may be the only team that may be interested. But if there is interest from other teams, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears definitely need to explore those possibilities and letting Nate Davis walk here in Chicago. So Bears fans, as the November 5th trade deadline approaches in the NFL, Nate Davis is definitely a player to watch for the Chicago Bears. So before I let you guys go, Bears fans, do you think this will be a good move for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears to trade Nate Davis away at the trade deadline? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.